Oh, it's just Jord.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome your faces to a different kind of video on the channel, but a theory somewhat video nonetheless. Today, as I was challenged by Leanne, we did plan on actually doing a theory video on Bendy with the new game coming out, as we've dabbled on it a bit in the past. But seeing as the new Dark Revivals trailer's out now, the gameplay trailer, I thought we would react to it together and then theorize further after the video. So it'd be one of those like kind of theory and react videos. Something different, not always going to be like this, and definitely not going to be like this because there's going to be a lot of Little Nightmare stuff going up next. But then we'll also be getting some Bendy in the Ink Machine theories going on with it. So this will be a nice introduction to it. So I hope you enjoy while you're on the toilet, or if you're on the computer on the toilet. If you want to go and watch the video originally, there's going to be a link in the description for that. If you want to stick with me and watch that, then do that now. With that being said, let's get into this pre-theory, if that's a... Let's do it. Let's see what's going down. I'm excited. Okay. I don't want to speak too much. Established 1929. It's Joey Drew Studios. I don't want to say too much, especially in the trailer, so...
A pretty girl like you shouldn't be wandering around all by yourself.
What? This feels wrong.
Are we Alice? I think we're Alice. Oh damn! Jump scare. Hey, legend.
No.
Okay. What is that tool? It looks like a bit of a... Hey, the gang's back here. Ooh, boy, that's dark. Plug.
What's happening to me?
Okay. Well. Okay, cool. So initially, there are a few things I already kind of want to talk about. So I don't know how this will be edited. I think I'm going to jump cut it. So if I go from one bit to the... I'm sorry if you don't like that, but it keeps the video clean, I suppose. But with that being said, I want to start off with the beginning. So, obviously we get the date of Joey Drew Studios, and, you know, 1929, it's all bog standard per se for that. That's all we know already.
A pretty girl like you shouldn't be wandering around all by yourself.
So that voice in particular is something quite interesting. Now, for me, I don't know personally off the top of my head without probably researching it. It's been a while since we've done Bendy. But without even trying to think about it, I feel like it's going to be an unannounced character, but it's going to be someone to play the part in a very interesting sort of dynamic. I feel like they're going to be not Bendy, but I feel like it kind of wants you to believe it's going to be Bendy, if that makes sense, or some sort of form of Joey Drew, for example. So bog standard, we're back in Bendy and the Ink Machine as usual. Looks a bit more run down though. Looks like it's going to be a bit before Henry sort of time. Maybe this is like where it's all gone tits up and it's all in the air at this point. So that's interesting, but we are looking at probably the same assets and all that jazz. So nothing major here.
What? This feels...
So this is something I really want to like talk about, especially it probably takes most of the session, for instance. What I think's happening here, and what I theorize, is that actually, obviously, you are Alice, but I feel like it's making you, well, trying to make you believe that you're the Alice that you saw at the end of the game, or the good Alice, for instance. I believe and theorize that this is actually the Alice before that, so the bad sort of Alice, the one always looking to be pure, for example. I actually think this may be an indication that this is going to be, obviously, with Alice fighting the battles for finding the purest kind of the ink form and whatnot. And it looks like here she's sort of cross-contaminated ink, if you get what I mean. So like, it looks like she's been in contact with a bludger or something along that lines, and her arm is like corrupt of some sort. Or in fact, it could be like some sort of like, I hate to say it, but like a Bendy influenced arm. A Bendy influenced arm, because the finger size, for instance, it matches kind of what the end game sort of Bendy was. But even she says that this feels wrong, so she knows that wasn't meant to be there, basically. So it's kind of like she's definitely had some sort of interception with something outside of herself, which is then merged with her. So obviously the ink has become a part of her, and if we remember rightly from Alice in the last game, you really don't want to touch that ink. So another interesting factor I thought straight away was, if I go back a bit here, is sorry about the time bar at the bottom of the front. So what I think is quite interesting, and I don't know if this is just an extra asset, but I assume it's not. What I think might happen, especially with tools and whatnot in this version of Bendy, I think it's going to be a lot more ingredient based. So you can see there's a workshop table, for example, and I feel like this in particular item is one that charges electricals, obviously, as we see a bit further on in the video. But I feel like you're going to be able to make a lot more things with that. I mean, for instance, you can see from here, you got another gents, tool. You got gents, you got the gents pipe there, and you've got a few extra tools to help mount when you got an extra few tools to help manipulate that into a different sort of like object style or whatever. And I feel like that is going to be something new coming to this Bendy. You're going to get a lot more you're going to got a lot more ingredients to craft in the main game. So it's great to see the bludgers are back. I think the bludgers, but it would be interesting to see if this is like an actual mechanic, whereas like they sort of spawn from just a dark area in general, rather than being like a cut based sort of like, oh, when you hit this trigger box they spawn here, that sort of thing. As you can see, they do look a little bit more refined, and they actually, from the distance, they kind of look like the ones from the Forgotten ones, for instance. It looks like a bit of a better merge between them. So maybe we'll see some kind of hybrid enemy, who knows. So this is an interesting feature. That, for instance, so it's like a kind of a mock sort of tool made, like I said earlier, just out of just materials, just to get by, obviously through rooms and stuff. So it's interesting that we have to hand power with these things. It's interesting that it's reusable as well. So something interesting I thought was quite interesting coming up. The machine must endure. So I feel like this is like the point of the game of Henry. I don't think Henry's involved at this point. I think we're way before that bit, or just somewhat before. I think this is when stuff's really kicking off and things are going crazy, and like people are making stuff out of ink and all that mold and all that jazz. But I feel like it's saying, it's putting to you how much stress is going into the ink machine and the ink flow and all that sort of stuff. And what I wanted to point out originally is, if we go a bit more into it, it's not necessarily sort of Alice that decides to pursue this. It seems to be that the hand is leading the way, sort of out of her control in a sense. As you can see here, it doesn't look like she's, because you know, if you were going to peer over something, you'd do it spaced. You wouldn't just go, oh, I was gonna pull you off, but now I'm having a look. So to me, it seems like that kind of hand has got some sort of network of its own, for instance. And that kind of proves my point as well, as the follow-up is how the hand is actually kind of pounced onto the gang member. And it seems to me, for instance, if I play it continuous, it seems to me back to like one of my old sort of theories about Bendy, where I believe obviously the ink network is collected and it's connected, basically. So I feel like in that sense you've added that sort of gang member to your ink hand, if you will, and you're absorbing maybe a memory of some sort, or some trauma, or it's just an ill experience, basically.
What's happening to me?
And that kind of confirms it as well for me. Like the whole what's happening to me, they have no idea what's going on. She doesn't have no idea. So I do theorize that in the next game, it's going to be a bit of a story twister, because I don't think Alice is going to be completely in control of that hand. And I think this is how we're going to find out how this previous Alice got this sort of split personality between being a good demon and being a good Alice and a bad Alice. And I think that's where it's going to sort of pick off before Henry. But time will tell, more information will come. And with that being said, if you like this kind of video, please hit like and write a comment. Let me know what you look forward to in the next Bendy game. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you ever so much for watching this video. Very little nightmares will be continuing soon, and thus Little Nightmares Theories. Bendy Theories will be incoming with a few more videos coming out. There will definitely be some more of that. But I hope you like this video, and I will speak to you soon and see you in the next theory video. Bye.